So in last class, did I showed you guys that how to run that machine learning model in the locally by using Flask? We have seen that in one of the last classes, right? That how to run the machine learning models in locally. Okay, we haven't. Wait, just give me a time then. Hmm, can see my screen or not? Okay. Let me open the folder. This is my project HTML ops class. In that there are few availability. These folders are there. So I'm going to use the VS Code Visual Studio. So once you install the Visual Studio, how to use that? It's just very easy, yeah, to open it from the terminal. So let's suppose wherever your project directory or wherever you want to create it, just go to this specific folder. Let us suppose you want to open this here. This one is okay. This one is also I have created. No. Second, two ML ops in that. Okay, I'll check both, whichever will run. So you'll have to go to that folder and you have to create your project. So let us suppose here in my this is my directory way. Then in that this is one folder which I had already created. But in your case, let's suppose this is empty. So you can create a folder here, or let's suppose this is empty here. There's a no, so no folder. So you have to just open a terminal here at this location. You can see it has opened it here, and you have to just write code space dot. You will write, then Visual Studio will get open at this location. Okay, you can see it here. This, and if I'll open, these all things will get. Now let's see. So here, uh, first we'll try to understand how we can run locally. So how the project structure would be. So if suppose this is this is your any folder, any project directory. Let's suppose it is the project directory name as whatever it is project. Let's suppose this folder name is project. Inside this folder, you have to create app.py, then your one folder which is named as templates, which is named as templates. Then inside this templates, there will be your HTML files. Whatever your screens are there for the UI, that will be. Then here your Docker file. Then here requirement.txt. Okay, this is, so usually this is three four libraries are important. So now let's jump to the folder, and here you can see inside a template there are two folders, two HTML files. So one is index.html, other is result.html. Okay, and then this is app.py. So in app.py, what I'm trying to do, nothing, simply if you would see it here, this is my model which I'm loading it here. Okay, which I'm loading it here, and then I'm using this Flask API to perform this on a UI, to how to use that. And this is one Jupyter file where we saw that how we created a housing price model. So this is a Jupyter file for your all rough purpose and everything. Someone has joined. One second. Okay, so this is just if someone has like to do your purpose to verify any of the code like that. So this is how it works, and this is your requirement.txt, whatever the uh, library you needed, that with the version in that you have to do. And this is the docker file. I will come on this. Okay, so this is how or exactly it works. Okay, is there any confusion in the project folder structure? Any confusion? No, no, this is not required. This one, actually, we use the Jupyter file to create our analysis or to save the model. That is completely, if you have this model file with you, you do not need this IPNB. That is just for a, just an, just give me a minute. Let me cut this. Okay, actually, this one was because you can see my screen, right? Mm, let me elaborate this. Now, let me first show you that how we can run it locally. So, just I'm creating a new Python file here to show you that how basically this all works. So let me copy this part only. Okay. So I'm creating here one. Uh, just I'm giving a name, demo.py. One demo file I'm just creating. So these are not required. This job lib numpy, these things not required. Let me remove this just to make it very simpler as of now. So, and here let me do return hello flask. So now what exactly we are trying to do here? This is a Flask library we imported from the Flask class. I'm just importing here the Flask method, and render template is not required in the request discussion. Let's take make it very simple. Okay. Now, what is this? Here I'm creating an app object from the Flask. And why this app? This app we are going to use to route the URL. URL that whenever you search something, no, that will get open on a specific URL. So whatever you will write here, it will get open at this location. So right now I have, let's suppose I wrote here home. Okay. Now if we have to run first, if underscore name underscore equal to underscore underscore. So hope you guys aware about this what exactly this is. Name equals to main. Is there any confusion in this? Okay, so let me run this code and let's see what will happen. So from the terminal I'm running python space demo.py. So it is running it here. Now let me open this. Oh, it is giving actually the favicon. This is because one of the in a system that issue had this favicon issue, some hardware or something issue is there. That's why it is giving. Let me just ignore it. Maybe this error you will not face in your system. Okay. Now, where it is? Yeah, here. 400 for why it is coming. Let me copy this and open it here. So currently it is saying not found. Now let me write it home. See that when I wrote here as home on the URL, maybe it is not visible for you guys. Or let me shrink this. See it here. When I'm writing it here, only the local host. So it is saying no, doesn't found. But as I wrote here home, see that it is writing this message hello Flask. You can see this message we have written it here. So if I just edit this, how are you, and I will do control S simply, and just I will go and reload this. Debug. This one is not taking. One second, let me delete and run this again. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it. It is coming it here. So now here the question is what we can do in spite of showing a string, we can show the HTML page, because we need to show the HTML page. We need to show some UI. So how exactly we can do? So there is something called render template. So by render template, we can use it. In that render template, we can pass the our HTML page. So index.html, and we do not have to give a specific path. It will automatically understand that in a templates folder you have the this one. Okay, now let us see that whether it has changed or not. See that it has changed. So actually that HTML page has this information. So if you remember, when we were doing the housing price prediction, it had these columns like mid INC, house age, average rooms. So this one I have created in the HTML page. Okay. Now as I will click on here predict, it should go to the some other page where it should show the price of the house on the given that. So how we can do that? So is it clear till here to everyone? So let me close this page and delete so that you guys will not uh, confuse. Now let me open here. Oh, I have to delete this one. Now I'm opening here. This is so here. This is our main file now, app.py, which we will use it. Now here we can see here I'm importing all those needed library, and here I'm loading the model which we had saved it after training in a pickle file. So I'm loading it, and now this model name is here loaded model. Okay, here I'm creating an object flask name, and then I'm routing it on the home page. I want this my index HTML, that all the HTML page which we saw just now, all the column names with their values we need to fit. And as someone will give the submit button, it should go to this page predict, and there it should predict. So what exactly how it will work? See that here I'm putting your method equal to get and post. So why? Because it will take the input and it will show the result as well. So the both method it could be to the get and post. Okay, both the method it will. Get means taking the input, post means just to showing giving it. So here what I'm trying to do, here I'm just creating a function. So before the function, whatever root you have written it, no. So when you will click on that root in URL, it will uh, use below's functions. So that one. So here what I'm trying to do, if the request method is post, so I'm taking all these values, and this all I'm taking it from the HTML file index.html. When we will see on the URL, and when we give the value of this, it will get a store in here. And so I'm putting all those into float. So I will get all the values, and that all values here, see, I'm storing, taking it into the list, taking into the list, and then I'm converting into a data frame, and that data frame I'm asking my model to predict. That's it. And this is the predicted value, and that predicted value now I will send to the HTML page, where when on index HTML, when user will give submit or predict, that result.html should show, and in that this predict value should be there. That's how. And here, this is just for an issue in a route to handle some favicon issue was coming, and here just I'm running. So host 00 means and the port I had given it to run on this, not to go into the local. So now let me start the terminal and run this python app.py. So you can see it is running it here on the 5000. Now let's go here and paste it. Let me cut this so that you guys can correlate. See that it is running here. Now let's put some values here. Random values I'm giving 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then predict. See, and now this is your result.html. So here it has come, the predicted house price is this much. So this is how it works. I think I had already covered this in the last one, in one of the class. You guys cannot remember, I had covered it. So this is how we deployed it locally. Now here the problem what will come, let us suppose you are working in a team. Let us suppose you are working in a team, and you created this project file and you shared to the any common folder, and any of your colleagues started working on that. Then he will start facing the problem with the any Python version issue, or some multiple kind of platform issue. Let's suppose it is working on this Windows, and if he was trying to install on the Linux, so that could be the problem. Okay, so now how to handle those kinds of problems? For that, the new concept of that Docker came in scenario, that how we can use the Docker. Okay, so why Docker is needed? Let me just give me a time. So uh, let's understand first. Where it was. Hmm. Let's. So what will happen? Let's suppose we you build any your project directory, and where you had all the files, folders, everything is there, and you put it in the any shared folder or any common location, and your colleague pulled this out. Let's suppose this is the git, this is the git, and someone pulled from this git, and they started working, and they started getting the error. It was working fine in your system, but it was started getting error. You might face the same issue, because I had already pushed this project in the git. So when you will pull this project in your system and try to run, you might get, in 90% of the cases you will face the issue for that. So how to solve? So for that, the concept came Docker. So what Docker actually did, whatever the your base image means your system Python image was there. So it will take that image. Okay, uh, it will take that image. That image means, understand that like an version, and every version of your libraries, whatever you have used, including Python or other libraries. And it will just what it will create a package. It will create a package, and now instead of running in a local, that image actually that will create a container, and on that container now your application will start running. Okay, this image creates a container. Container is a runtime object. So when you run your Docker file, I'll show that where that container will get create. Okay, so actually this container, this is a running instance for your application, so it will run your application. So now it doesn't matter where you are running this. And now what I will do, when I will push my code to the Git, the Docker file those all, if you want, you can build the Docker images. You can build the Docker images, and that image I can push to the Docker hub. That image I can push to the Docker hub. And now you can pull that image from the Docker hub, and then you can use that image directly to run your application. See that now. So this is Docker hub. Okay, so this is on a Docker hub, you have to just log in. Okay, so this is the home page. Let it go on the home page. Yeah, this is the Docker hub home page are there. So there are lot many images are there. Let us suppose I will search for the Python. Okay, so if I'll click it here on the Python, see that there are, if you want to pull the image, Docker pull Python, if you will write, it will directly pull the latest image of the Docker. So image means latest image means the versions. This is tags here. So there are different versions of the Pythons are there. You can see here. This is the tag latest. This is the slim bullseye. There is a slim bookworm. So it's a different versions name someone has given, and this is the command to pull that. So this is how the structure of the Docker is. Docker pull Python, your image name, and the tag after colon you have to write tag. So tag is what? Slim. So that's why slim. Here it says slim bookworm. So Python colon slim hyphen bookworm. Like that you have to pull in your system. But for that you must have to install the Docker. So this Docker for Windows, Docker for desktop. If you just open this Docker desktop here, it will come download for Windows, okay, or Mac, Linux, whatever. Once you'll get downloaded, you can directly start following, or on YouTube there are a lot many videos are there how to install. Just follow. Once you will install, you can see here this application will look like this. See, this is how now the Docker will start. And you have to log in this here, you have to create an account. So this is one of the Python images. So let me delete, this is the image and this is the container. So currently no containers are there, so let me delete this image first. We'll go from the beginning completely. So this is now there is no image, nothing. Once you have installed, you'll have to just go to the terminal. Terminals are opened. And you have to go to at any locations, that location doesn't matter. And if you want to check, you have to just write Docker here and hit enter. Let's see that it is given the all commands, means your Docker has properly installed. Okay, now now if you want to check, is there any image in your system? What was that? Is there any image in your system, Docker image? So command is Docker images. So you can see here it has written a repository tag image ID created or size. There is a no image in that. So if there is no image, then definitely there would have not been any running instance. So if you want to check, if let's suppose is there any image is there, and you want to check whether that image is running or not, so for that docker ps. So if you'll do ps, whatever the image, let's suppose in your system 3 4 images are there, in that one image is running, so it will give the container id. So what I said now, it's a running instance. Then when you will run at that point of time, yes, what does it mean exactly? Means for what? Image, image means image is a package of your entire libraries. That is called the docker image. When I'm saying docker image means, see that the, no, this not under the requirement.py. This docker file which you are seeing it here, in that your base images is there. Base image is here, I'm only using python, but it doesn't mean it only requires the python. Maybe it requires some ubuntu, some os also, that the base image also you can put. So base, it means that how your all those port, where it should run, on which port your application should run, those everything, that is called this docker image. Okay, image means this complete package of your project. Now, and if that image is running, it will show it here, that on which port it is. Status means it is up or down, everything. Okay, it is not working here. Okay, now if you have to pull the image, if you have to pull any image, at that point of time you have to use docker pull. Okay, docker pull, and then you have to write the image name. And what is the image name again? Here you can see this is the image name, python, or python with the any version latest you want. By default it will take latest or any, so that will get available here. So let me show you with this python latest. Let me show you. Currently if you see it here in images, there is a nothing. Okay, now let me pull this. See, this is just pulling the image. 2 3 minutes it will take. It depends on the internet speed. Okay, now it's done. Now see, now if I will run here docker images, now it will see, it will tell you yes, you have a 1.2 GB image is there for the docker, for the python. And if I'll go to my application here, see this python, it has saying 1.1 GB. Okay, it is not running. And whether if you want to check whether it is running or not, you have to just docker ps. See, it is not running. If it is not running means there must be not be any container, so no containers are there. Once you will run, then the container means, when you write the command, it will create a container, then your application will run on that. Okay, so first let's delete this, and now let's jump to our code, and we'll see how we write those. So now we have run this docker images. We do not have any images. Okay, now let's go. So here I want it to get run on the python 3.11.5. Okay, and this is my requirement.txt file. So I have noted down these all, some dependencies are there, so accordingly I have noted down all these libraries. Okay, now work directory, so that is again your work directly, whatever this file name is there, your app.py hyphen you have to write. And this is what this command add, whatever it is there written in that app.py, it is trying to uh, copy all the content from that app.py. That's it. And then after whatever you have written it, or the flask or the fast api or anything, and this run here, we are what we are trying to do, pip install this pypy python.org is it is the uh, url from where that actually this library got installed. So I'm doing it requirement.txt to install from this pypy.org. That's it. And expose means I just want it to run on the on this port, because sometimes might happen if you are running it some local host or something. So at that point of time it got what I can say, conflict on the same port. So that's why I had given some different port now. And environment, you have to pass on different environment that it should create. It should not go on that any specific or the default if you have to run it multiple. And then here is a cmd. In cmd, what you have to run, your app.py file, and you have to run the python. I mean, with python you have to run that app.py. So that you have to write. That's it. This is the thing required in docker and nothing else. Now let's see how we can do that. So let me open a new terminal, uh, and let me go to this location, mlops. So d d directory cd with, and then cd mlops class. So let's take less, yeah, okay. Now let's check here docker images. So there are no images there. Now what we have to do, first we have to build the image. So how we can build the image? For that the command is docker build. Docker build, and you have to write hyphen t. Okay. And you can give any specific name. So docker image new, and you have to give the tag name. You can give latest or whatever it is. So just I'm giving 2.0. Okay, that is the tag name. Now requires exactly one docker build docker action. What is docker build docker image. Okay, okay, that dot. So it is started building. Probably you can see it here. If you will see, here it is python 3.11, and then if you'll see, it is adding all the step by step. Now it is started running. Okay, the requirement txt file, it is started running that, and it will everything you can see, whatever we have written in the requirement.txt, everything it is installing. Let me pause this. Okay, so it ran now. If you will go it here, see that this is has created here. Let me refresh this. Docker image new, this one, and 2.0 tag I had given. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to check here the container. There is no container still. Now we have to run that. Okay, so what is the command for that? Docker run. Run is the command. From that we can run. Okay, we can run it from the ui as well. We can run it from the here as well by clicking on this, but that's not a good practice. You have to go it here. Now docker run hyphen p, hyphen p you have to write, and that port name which we had given, so that is the 5000 colon 5000 you have to write, and space your image name, whatever the image name was there. So what was that name? Docker img new. Docker img new, and then you have to give the tag. So tag is 2.0. Now let's see. it started running. You can, if you'll see it here, this container has created on which port? This one. Now, first let us see here docker ps. Now see, this time it is showing it here. It is running on 5000 up from the last 16 second, and command python app.py. And now if you will see here, it has generated this. Now let me copy. Now you can see it here. Now I'm not running it from my local. You can see this is nothing is running here. Nothing is running here. And now let's go and click it here. What is the issue? One second. App.py, it should go right. Okay, okay, no, this one will run 172. This one will run. Sorry. It is. Should work. Okay. Debug mode is off. One second. Just I have to. I don't know. Let me see whether it will work or not. I don't think it will work. I have to. Oh, Control C. I have to delete. So, uh, one second. So Docker RMI images. So Docker RMI is to remove, and this is image 2.0. Okay, so it is saying image ID to put Docker RMI and this image ID, because this is directly running that container, so that I'm trying to image is being used to stop. Okay, so let me stop it first. Let's delete this, delete it from here. Docker images. Okay, now it is no images. Clear. Debug equals to true. Why logically it should run? One second. First let me build the image. Now again I'm building with the same image or tag. You can see, yeah, it is running on this complete. Okay, correct it is. So now if you'll put anything, your inputs, and then I'll do, it will here predict. You can see here, and if you'll see it here, this says inspect. This all here it will tell the entire thing whatever we have done it. This executive and the in files, it should, or somewhere it will show it. So this is how we can run our image on the Docker. Now the next thing which we will cover, that how first, so this is, you can see here, uh, this entire where we have created it in application, we copied So in application, we had copied all those files. No, see, yeah, this all our files are there. The speaker LR basic requirement.txt, whatever it is. Okay, so let me stop or delete this, whatever it is. Delete. Okay, so there are two images because two times I had run that and I haven't deleted. So this is, so now uh, and see, this is the command. I will add this is the command, you can use it to push the image. Okay, so this is, first you have to use this one, like your docker image name, whatever the image name is there, and the tag, and your username, whatever your username is there, hyphen that image name. Okay, and then you have to write docker push your username, and then this image name. Means this both time. So this one will get pushed to your docker hub, and now you can make that public or the private, anyone wants they can use that. Okay, this is this is how you can, by using this command, you can push it to the docker hub. Is it clear? So now the next is what we are supposed to understand in the next. Let me tell you that now first we ran locally, then we ran using docker. Now we understood how we can even push that image, and anyone wants they can pull it. Now we will see that how we can do git versioning. Git versioning means, let's suppose someone had built a model and with has accuracy 90%, and now other teammate has built one other model, and they and this one this people had, or this person had pushed into the master branch of the GitHub, and now other people build, and it suppose whatever the accuracy or the performance it has, and he also wants to, or she also wants to push into the master branch. That's a really conflict, because now anyone cannot directly push to the master branch, they should get verified. So how to check the version which one is better, so that it will store the best one? So that's called the git versioning. So that we will see in the next class, how we can perform the git versioning. Once we will perform the git versioning, we have the dockers, then this using of these two, how we can deploy this in a GCP, in a Google Cloud, okay, platform, using the Vertex AI. Okay, so I want you guys in the next class that you can create your GCP account by your credit card. It will just take 2 rupees only. Okay, so I'll guide you so that you can follow the steps and you can do that. Okay.